A week of heavy rain wreaks havoc across Buenos Aires, and Milei's austerity policy squeezes the pockets of Argentina's middle class. Welcome to A Bloke in Buenos Aires, presenting news and views in English from the capital of Argentina. Please feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. The rain seems to have finally stopped today. It's been raining almost non-stop for about a week, with huge thunderstorms to accompany the downpour. I haven't seen rain like this in years. Extreme weather shows up all the city's shortcomings. The airports were closed, the subway flooded out, roads cut, and in La Plata a corpse was seen floating down the street. On Monday, the rain let up for most of the day, and it was back to sunshine and t-shirts, and for demonstrators, the perfect day for a fight. Buenos Aires City and Buenos Aires Province are neatly demarked by the semicircular freeway General Paz. There are a limited number of entry points where some of the avenues pass under bridges in and out of the city. It therefore makes it relatively easy to cut off the city from the province. This was very useful during the COVID-19 pandemic to limit the movement of people. It also makes it quite easy for coordinated groups of demonstrators to cut access in and out of the city. It's been a favourite tactic for years, and something that Patricia Bullrich's new anti-protest policing protocol is intended to put a stop to. Monday's sunshine brought on a string of such road blockages, and at 4 major access points there was fighting between piqueteros and police with batons, water cannon and pepper spray. Some injuries occurred on both sides, but apparently no arrests. The demonstrators, on the one hand, are marching to protest austerity. Many are from social movements that assist poor people with food distribution, something that the government has cut off as part of its anti-corruption drive. On the other hand, Monday's march was probably to test the determination of the security forces to apply the new restrictions on blocking roads. It's difficult to judge who won, with each side claiming to have achieved their goals. The piqueteros did disrupt traffic for a while, but the police were able to contain and eventually disperse the crowds. The demo leaders claimed that up to 500 such incidents took place across the country, although that may have been optimistic exaggeration. President Milei's austerity program is biting hard. The poorest are hit hardest, as always, but the middle classes are also being squeezed too. All those middle class perks and expectations are fast disappearing, with parents moving their kids from private to public schools, and dining out becoming an occasional luxury, if at all, rather than the 2 or 3 times a week people have become accustomed to. The public education system in Argentina is seen as pretty shoddy, and anyone with even a bit to spare puts their kids through what was generally seen as reasonably priced private education. But that bit to spare no longer exists, with half of family incomes going on rent just to keep a roof over their heads. Some are having to sell the family silver to make ends meet, and foreign bargain hunters are swooping in like vultures to pick off antique heirlooms at rock-bottom prices. 60% of Argentines now live in poverty, and this hasn't been some kind of slow slide. Milei's anarcho-capitalist policies have pushed many over a cliff. Many of the same people voted for Milei because he promised to throw out the restrictive practices and ideas of the hated Kirchnerismo and Peronism, which have held back this country for so long. Milei is throwing off the shackles of the past 20 years or so by cancelling subsidies and price controls. But people are quickly discovering that those same subsidies are what have been allowing the middle classes to live the high life for so many years. Now reality is bringing everyone down to earth with a very big bump. The president told everyone it would get worse before it gets better. But is this really what they bargained for? Every news report has some kind of bias, and it's often frustratingly difficult to get a balanced view. Ground News is a website and app that gathers all the world's media in one place so you can compare coverage. Ground News lets you see the story behind the story using data-driven analysis that looks at things like the political bias, reliability and ownership of news outlets. To get a 40% discount off a subscription to Ground News, click on the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe to see more similar content. And if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee in the link below. And until next time, que tengas un buen día.